Hello, thanks for joining me today on my channel, and this is Discovering My Money. And well, I like talking about budgets, so and I have a huge, I guess, thing that I want to do in the kind of near to mid distance future. It's going to take me a couple years, but essentially it's all going to start right here and now. So I have a whole bunch of other components, but what I'm going to talk about on this channel is, of course, the budgeting. So what is it that I want to do? Well, I'm hoping to sail. Now it's kind of funny because just recently some young guy is sailing from Oregon to Hawaii, and he's getting lots of attention, and there's other sailing movies out there, and so I guess some of these do inspire me, but it's not so much that I'm taken up by them. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while, and I've kind of put myself in a position where there might be a potential to do it. I have several steps along the way that I want to accomplish, and I figure it's going to take me 2 to 3 years to kind of reach that goal, because I don't have a 401k like our friend on the newest videos that just got rid of everything and decided to sail. I'd like to do that, but unfortunately it's not really in the cards. So what I need to do is I kind of have to have several different steps to kind of get myself from where I'm in a landlocked city, province, and I need to get myself to a place where I can be somewhere on the coast. So that's kind of the first check. I do have a couple different options that I'm looking at. Anyway, so that's kind of the overall goal, but along the way I have some other little goals. So that's where the whole budgeting process comes in. So the reality check is the sailing may not happen. So I can set up the overall goal for that and do it, but I also along the way want to be able to do some traveling and kind of see some different cultures, and particularly I'd like to tour parts of Europe or as much as I can, and that's kind of more realistic, and putting myself in that position is a lot easier. So what's next? Well, create a goal and a timeline. So I do have the goal that I'd want to sail, and I'm actually legitimately going to put myself in a position for that. I do have some money situations that may vary, and so setting a budget for that is difficult, but if I start working towards it now, I may accomplish that in 2 to 3 years. The next part of that is I'm looking at teaching English, hopefully in Spain. It's one of 2 places I'd like to be on the Mediterranean, possibly 3, but Spain just has so much to offer with this type of opportunity. So I'm really like it, and of course the Mediterranean coast in Spain is very compelling reason to go as well. So I'm going to create kind of a goal and a timeline to get there, and that's of course less than 2 to 3 years, but may speed up anywhere up to 6 months from now. So I do have that, but then I still need to budget for it. Like, how do I put myself in a position where I can afford to do that? 6 months is probably not realistic. A year from now is probably more realistic. If worst case scenario comes, it would be 2 years, in which case the boat scenario would be another year after that. And we'll see what's going to happen. So I want to create a budget around that whole scenario, and it's yeah, kind of my new thing. So I have a I guess a budgeting challenge to create a budget to make a certain amount of money by a certain amount of time. I'm going to have some challenges because of my work, the amount I'm working, the amount I'm getting paid, how I'm getting paid is all going to fluctuate. I might have fixed pay, I might have variable pay, and things like that. I also have to have money for things like traveling to the location where I'm going to be. So that's obviously a thing there. I'm not going to know how much to budget for a place to live, although I can kind of start to hopefully have an idea, but how much am I going to need to get started to get me ready to, start this new a lifestyle that I'm going to be moving into. It is, from what I understand, very viable, but it's not a place where you get rich. So there probably is going to need to be a few things like an emergency fund. I'm going to have some money put aside in case I need to reverse myself and get out of the situation. So a plane ticket home. I have to look at visas, a whole bunch of different things. So I think I kind of touched on the whole visa thing before, but now the whole video is going to be in a series about how do I budget to get myself to teach English overseas, and B, to be able to get a sailboat and sail around the Mediterranean with a base of being in possibly Barcelona. So we'll just start with Barcelona, but there's other locations along the Mediterranean coast. So that is my conundrum, because everything's going to be changing along the way. So I'm going to have a lot of fail safes and go from there. So I'm going to have to really set some boundaries though, because I won't be able to go just any time of the year. So I'm going to have to definitely have that timeline boundary, but I'm also going to have that boundary of saying if I don't have a certain amount of money, I can't go. So I have to be able to budget in a certain way to do that. I also, like I said, I have to make boundaries of if I don't have a way to get home, I don't want to be stuck overseas. I don't have a lot of opportunities to, I guess, fall back on people and say, hey, by the way, can you get me a $1,200 ticket to fly home? And then, of course, I wouldn't have a job when I got back, so there'd be a lot of considerations. So I have to have those kind of boundaries as to what is acceptable and what isn't as I'm making the transition. And then how am I going to stay focused on this? Because my income at the moment is not really high. How am I going to exceed what I'm earning with expenses that seem to be climbing rapidly in this tariff war time of life? So am I going to be able to have enough profit, enough income to add to this whole goal? Now, I'm actually not terribly far off, and some of the options that are presenting themselves aren't as extreme, but possibly more risky as far as like your uncertainty. And I have to decide kind of how much chance I want to put into it and how much I want to have secured. Because if I waited till everything was perfect and I had a whole schwack of money in the account that would guarantee there would be no issues, I simply I'd probably never get there. So the budgeting has to be very precise as to what I'm trying to do. I have to have a certain percentage over and above that I think is kind of my fail safe. Again, I've said emergency fund, ticket home fund, different things that are going to put this reality into kind of a more relaxed state, because I don't want to be doing this under a lot of duress and put a lot of stress on myself. So the budget is basically for those two reasons, and then all the things that I want to do with the traveling, seeing the world, trying someplace new. I've lived in pretty much the same place most of my life and haven't seen a lot of the world, so I would like to do that. And now I'm putting my budgeting skills to the test to see if I can manage that. Now, I'm also trying to get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of August. So if you could help me out, it's the 20th of May. Hit subscribe and like, and follow along to see if I can create a budget and create a scenario that helps me to get overseas. And we'll see you for the next video.